Good morning. It's really great to see so many familiar faces here today. Community members, volunteers, partners, friends, all here to share in the improvement of the city, making greener, healthier, more sustainable. I know this isn't very customary for these plantings to begin like this, like some of you are familiar with, but we are deeply honored to have some truly dedicated advocates of environmental stewardships and community growth. With that, to begin, I want to introduce Jessica Cavey, Program Director for Tree Pennsylvania.
So Tree Pennsylvania is a private nonprofit organization that's statewide, and we are very grateful for the generous support of programs through DCNR that allow us to have a bare root tree grant program. Through that program, this fall we're providing a little over 1,000 trees to 51 communities throughout the state of Pennsylvania, including the city of Harrisburg. The city of Harrisburg has been an ongoing grantee of ours, and we are very grateful for their continued dedication to increasing tree canopy across the city. So to that end, I'm going to introduce the city's mayor, Wanda Williams.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Beautiful day in the city of Harrisburg, isn't it?
Yay.
Little cold though, right? And a perfect one to celebrate growth, renewal, and generosity of our partners of Trees Pennsylvania. I want to thank Secretary Dunn and the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for joining us here today. And I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to Trees Pennsylvania for their remarkable commitment to our city of Harrisburg. Since spring, Trees Pennsylvania has donated 40 trees to Harrisburg, 40 new roots of hope, strength, and shade for generations to come. The city purchased 29 more, and thanks to our friend in Midtown, another 15 were secured through grant funding. That makes, by the end of this year, 84 new trees will be standing tall across our neighborhoods, from Bellevue Park to Cloverly Heights, from Rolleston Streets to Midtown. These trees are more than leaves and branches. They are symbols of resilience. Each one planted represents another step towards a greener, cleaner, and a healthy Harrisburg. They remind us that even the smallest act of care, a single tree, a single seed, a single shovel of soil, can help restore and beautify our community. I want to thank every government agency, every nonprofit, every partner, and every resident who continues to help us make Harrisburg a city that thrives one tree at a time. Together we are growing something lasting. I would now like to introduce someone who, along with Governor Josh Shapiro, has been instrumental in procuring funding for a greener Harrisburg. Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Secretary Cindy Adams Dunn. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so happy to be here in Harrisburg, and like the mayor said, it's a beautiful city, a tree city. I came up Sycamore Street. You know, years ago, maybe 80 years ago, I don't know my tree ages at a glance, it's really hard to do, but there were people like you planted those sycamore trees, and because of that, today we have a beautiful tree-lined street. And that adds to the property values of those properties in the whole region. That adds beauty, that adds shade, that adds bird habitat. It brings up our communities. And Governor Josh Shapiro just signed into law the budget of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania this week. Stood there with Representative Madsen, who I know is coming, Senator Kim, who's Dante Loma's here for Senator Kim. We penned the budget to free up the funds to continue this kind of work across Pennsylvania's communities. The trees we plant today will be here for a century. With the tree tenders here of Tree Harrisburg, they will be well taken care of and stewarded, and they will be here for the future. Just as I left my home to come here this morning, I looked over at my sweet gum that I had planted maybe 6 years ago. When I planted it, it was about this size. And I thought, that's not going to be much of a tree really for a long time. And because I took care of it, it took off. Today it is beautiful, a yellow sweet gum tree. I had to stop what I was doing, put my bags down and take a photo. So that the beauty and resilience and future that is represented by tree plantings is really remarkable. And as the mayor said, it's beauty, it's health, it's clean air, stormwater reduction, it's habitat for birds, for those of us who are looking around for birds once in a while, and it's shade. Come to this street on a hot summer day and feel the difference. There's a section of the street maybe doesn't have a tree. Walk into the shade, you will feel the difference. There was a study done in downtown Philadelphia where the heat island effect can be deadly. The parts of the community that had no trees were 22 degrees hotter in that study than the tree-lined streets. So what you really want to do is have at least 40% of that tree shaded. So walk out on these streets in the summer and just look at the shade pattern. Are you at 40%? That'll make a big difference in your comfort in urban trees. Very important in climate resiliency, very important to our future and health of the people living in the streets. And as the mayor said, as I mentioned with the sycamores, trees add value to the housing stock in the community. People want to live near beauty. They want to live where there's a tree-shaded street. So it really helps beautify the neighborhood, increase civic pride, and attract residents and visitors to Harrisburg. I'm very proud of our DCNR team who is leading this effort. We've been fortunate over the years to have different sources of funding for our tree planting work. Our tree planting work across the Commonwealth is led by Matt Kiefer, who's Assistant State Forester. Matt's here today with his crew in the Bureau of Forestry and supported by our grant funding and our Bureau of Recreation and Conservation. So it's a good effort. When you look at the map of Pennsylvania, you'll see big green blobs, which are the state forest, 2.2 million acres, and then you'll see the rest of the state, the areas that are in white. And that includes the cities. And those are the areas we really got to work to get trees in the ground. Forests in Pennsylvania are more than the state forest. They're the communities, they're the buffers, the streams, they're the vacant lots that really could be trees. So there's a long way to go. Anywhere there's not a tree, look at it and think, could there be trees here? Because it would be better for the environment, better for the health, better for the habitat. So again, we're really pleased to be part of this. Pleased to be able to support it. And the good news is tree planting can be supported at any level. It can be supported at high level, big government grants that we are able to get, or the federal government sends our way sometimes, or it can be at the very personal level. We have the Keystone Tree Fund. Keystone Tree Fund is something you can donate to. I made a memorial donation to one of our retired district foresters who passed away, knowing that his interest would be trees, and so you can make a memorial donation to the Keystone Tree Fund. You can make an honorary donation, or you can make a donation in honor of Harrisburg, and that tree fund helps supplement our funds to come to the communities like Harrisburg. Again, very pleased with the work here, very proud of our team, very happy to see Tree Harrisburg and your very cool vests and the volunteer corps. A lot of DEP, DCR retirees there, which is really cool. And I really want to call up and recognize one of our retirees, plus two of our retirees. I don't see the second one here, but I've asked Matt Kiefer to join me at the podium for a little bit of recognition on what a lifetime of tree planting can mean.
Norm just arrived. He's back there by the cone.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Norm Lacasse and Ellen Roan to come forward. I want to talk a little bit about these two people. I want to talk about Norm and Ellen as they come forward. Norm is responsible for the Harrisburg Greenbelt. Norm is responsible and really supported the Urban Tree Alliance. Norm really was our first thought partner on urban forestry. And Ned Brock and the people leading it now are following in the path of Norm Lacasse, because he was out there doing it, and doing it before anyone else was even talking about it. Norm also is the person who educated us about Myra Lloyd Dock. Norm would stop you in the hallways of DCNR and talk to you about Myra Lloyd Dock if you stood still for 2 seconds. And so Norm called out a really important, kind of, at the time, untold story about the conservation history of Pennsylvania. Myra Lloyd Dock was part of City Beautiful in Harrisburg, part of the reason we have Riverfront Park, part of the reason we have the Greenbelt, part of the reason we have the beautiful park system, the city of Harrisburg that we have, the wonderful parks. But Myra Lloyd Dock is also the first woman in the Forestry Commission, and also helped select some of those 2.2 million acres of state forest land. But no one knew her story. She was a woman. But Norm Lacasse kept telling her story, and then he wrote a book because he realized none of the rest of the staff even heard about Myra Lloyd Dock. So he wrote a book so that we'd all know it and have it, and that caused her name to be pulled up and discovered, and other authors have written about her. Now she's baked into our history. We tell the story at every forest district office. Myra Lloyd Dock's picture at every district forest office we have. And Norm started that, so he's responsible for that. And Ellen Roan is one of his proteges. Ellen Roan was one of our first service foresters who worked in the city of Harrisburg. She's probably planted more trees in Harrisburg, both when she was at DCNR and since for the city of Harrisburg, and as a volunteer. And then she helped really spread and grow the service foresters across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with her leadership. So she's a modern day Myra Lloyd Dock. So we really wanted to take this opportunity to honor, sorry about that, both Norm and Ellen with a plaque. And Matt Kiefer, our assistant state forester, is going to help me present these. This is in recognition of your lifetime of excellent work. Ellen Roan, still planting trees every day, and our modern Myra Lloyd Dock.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, and thank you so much for having me. My remarks are going to be brief. One thing I want to say is every time I'm at this park, I'm always filled with so much pride, because I was serving on City Council in conjunction with the mayor when she was on council as well. And I remember when this park was first built. And cynics at the time said, well, this neighborhood won't be able to maintain it or keep it clean. And every time I've come through this neighborhood since it was built, it has always been pristinely clean. So I just want to shout out to the neighborhood here for keeping this park up to the highest standard. And now it's even better to see years later it being recognized by state government as a park of note. So I'm just so proud of the community and being here. I want to thank everybody that's been involved with the tree planting and beautifying the neighborhood. And I do want to tell people that we have learned from the past. I know the trees that the ancestors planted dug up the sidewalk and caused some issues, but new trees that we're planting aren't going to do things like that. So we've learned from that, and these won't be a nuisance when they grow. They will beautify the neighborhood and keep it great. So thank you so much for having me, and I want to thank the governor's team for coming out, and just appreciate everybody so much.
Well, I just want to give one final thanks to all our advocates here with their years of dedication, and we're going to move over to our demo planting and start putting trees in the ground. All right, thanks.
Okay.